It was supposed to be another statement weekend for Francesco Bagnaia, a masterclass of pace and precision on Ducati machinery. But what unfolded under the humid skies of Sepang turned into one of the most puzzling stories of the 2025 MotoGP season. The build-up to Sunday's main race painted a familiar picture of dominance. Bagnaia looked untouchable during qualifying and the sprint race, claiming pole position and a commanding sprint victory. Observers in the paddock whispered that he might once again be experimenting with elements of the GP24 specification, given that two distinct versions of the Desmosedici were spotted in his garage, both appearing slightly different in setup and aerodynamic detailing. This speculation isn't new. Ever since Bagnaia's impressive outing in Japan, where he reportedly used several GP24 components, such as an updated front fork and a revised aerodynamic package, rumours have circulated that Ducati may be blending technical data between their 2024 and 2025 machines. However, neither Bagnaia nor Ducati have provided a direct confirmation, maintaining a diplomatic silence and referring only to a few important changes made for Sepang. Once the lights went out, it looked like business as usual for the Italian star. His launch was clean, his rhythm unshakable, and by the early laps he had opened a small but convincing gap over the chasing pack. Yet, as the race reached its middle stages, a worrying pattern emerged. His lap times began to fade slowly at first, then dramatically. Within a handful of laps, both Alex Marquez on the Gresini Ducati and rookie sensation Pedro Acosta aboard the KTM breezed past him. 3 laps from the end, Bagnaia pulled into the pits and retired classified as DNF. His body language was telling. As he rolled back toward the paddock, he repeatedly glanced at the rear of his Ducati, suggesting that something was not right with the back end of the bike. Initial speculation from television commentators pointed toward a possible swing arm issue particularly intriguing, as that component was one of the suspected GP24 carryovers used earlier in the season. But as post-race investigations progressed, the truth turned out to be stranger than anyone expected. According to a report by The Race, quoting a source close to Ducati, the real culprit was a small but significant hole in Bagnaia's rear tyre. While details remain scarce, the discovery has sent shockwaves through the paddock. Tyre-related failures at this level are exceedingly rare, especially given Michelin's meticulous quality control and the introduction of a special compound for the demanding Sepang surface. Ducati Corse has already launched an internal investigation, with engineers and technicians analysing both the tyre carcass and wheel assembly. At the time of writing, no official statement has been released, though insiders suggest the team is working closely with Michelin to determine whether the issue stemmed from a puncture, a manufacturing flaw, or perhaps debris on track. What makes this mystery even more curious is that Bagnaia was the only rider affected. No similar problems were reported by other Ducati riders, Enea Bastianini or Alex Marquez. This singularity deepens the intrigue. Was it just a freak incident? Or is there an underlying setup factor unique to Bagnaia's bike that contributed to the problem? If the latter proves true, Ducati may need to revisit their technical approach, especially if Bagnaia's machine is indeed running hybrid GP24, GP25 elements. The balance between innovation and reliability has always been delicate in MotoGP, and Sepang's mysterious puncture serves as a reminder that even the most advanced technology can be undone by the smallest of flaws. For now, all eyes are on Ducati's next move. A formal statement from Bologna is expected soon, and it could shed light on whether the issue was purely mechanical or symptomatic of a deeper experimental risk. Until then, the paddock is left with one lingering question. How does a world-class race weekend unravel because of a tiny, unexplained hole? In MotoGP, as ever, even the smallest details can turn triumph into turmoil. The aftermath of Bagnaia's retirement has created ripples far beyond the Ducati garage. Inside sources suggest that Ducati engineers were visibly frustrated in the paddock. immediately surrounding the stricken Desmosedici as soon as it returned. One eyewitness described the atmosphere as tense and silent, with the team inspecting the rear assembly before the bike was swiftly wheeled behind the closed curtains of the pit box. Whatever they found was clearly not something they were prepared to discuss publicly, at least not yet. Meanwhile, Michelin technicians were seen collecting the damaged tyre for urgent examination. The French tyre supplier rarely faces issues of this nature, especially in dry conditions. When similar cases have occurred in the past, such as the infamous blistering problems at Silverstone several years ago, Michelin acted swiftly to defend its reputation. The same level of urgency appears to be underway now as they work alongside Ducati's engineers to determine the true cause of the anomaly. The most intriguing theory circulating around the paddock is that the puncture might not have been caused by debris or track damage at all, but by heat buildup due to an experimental rear suspension geometry. This possibility, while purely speculative, could explain why only Bagnaia's bike was affected. His riding style, known for its aggressive mid-corner acceleration and deep braking, might have put unusual stress on the rear tyre, particularly if he was testing a modified swing arm or a stiffer setup adapted from the GP24 prototype. Adding to the confusion is Ducati's silence. Neither Gigi Dall'Igna nor Davide Tardozzi offered a detailed post-race comment beyond the usual "we are investigating" statement. For a factory known for its engineering precision, this kind of secrecy only fuels speculation. Some believe the team doesn't want to reveal the full technical story, fearing that any admission could expose confidential development work or even raise questions about component legality under MotoGP's homologation rules. Other teams, too, are watching with keen interest. KTM's pit wall, for example, was reportedly buzzing after the race, not because of Acosta's impressive podium, but due to the potential insight into Ducati's ongoing development strategy. If the Italian team is indeed testing crossover parts between the GP24 and GP25, it could mean their fall 2026 concept is already taking shape. The risks of such mid-season experimentation, however, are evident after what happened in Malaysia. From a sporting perspective, the incident couldn't have come at a worse time for Bagnaia. With the championship entering its crucial final stretch, every point matters. A DNF due to a tyre issue, particularly one shrouded in mystery, is a major psychological blow. For a rider who thrives on rhythm and confidence, sudden technical failures can disrupt momentum and sow doubt, both in the rider's mind and within the team itself.